Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to Rosery Apparel. Today I have a fun, cozy sewing day planned. I'm going to be making a dress today. In fact, I'm going to try and make the entire dress in one day. The dress I'm hoping to make today is the Willa dress by Rosie Caldwell. I have been Insta pals with Rosie for quite a few years now, and this is her first garment sewing pattern, and I am so excited to have a go at it today. Honestly, I have been wanting to make this exact style of dress for such a long time, and I just could never find a pattern like it. And then all of a sudden Rosie came out with this pattern and I purchased it straight away because yeah, I have just been wanting to add this sort of dress to my wardrobe for the longest time. It is a super feminine, elasticated dress with a really plunging, like ruffled neckline. It's got some puffy sleeves, a very extra long midi length. I am completely in love with it and I cannot wait to make it today. You also might be wondering why I am making such a summery style dress when I'm about to head into winter. And the reason I'm wanting to add a dress like this to my wardrobe right now is because I'm headed to Austin, Texas for an entire month. Matt has to go over to Austin for work and I was fortunate enough to be able to go along with him, and so I'm quickly trying to make some fun summery dresses to bring along with me because yeah, it's going to be pretty hot over there. And hence why I want to make this dress in one day as well, as I'm quickly running out of time to be able to finish everything before I go. We leave next week, so yeah, if I could get this dress done today, that would be amazing. The fabric I'm going to be making this dress out of is, oh my goodness, one of my most favorite fabrics I've ever purchased. It is this black floral cotton fabric. It is a Liberty Tana Lawn cotton, which is just the softest, most silky feeling cotton you'll ever come across. If you haven't felt Liberty Tana Lawn cotton before, I urge you to go and find some and have a feel. It is just so luxurious and soft. This was definitely a splurge purchase. This was my little treat for finishing the clover pattern. It was 50 Australian dollars a meter, which is so much to spend on fabric. But when I tell you the quality is off the show, I genuinely mean it. I was actually inspired to purchase this fabric after I saw another Instagram friend of mine, Charlie Prangley. She made my pansy pattern out of this fabric, and as soon as I saw it, I fell in love, and that's when I was inspired to purchase it. There's just something about black fabric at the moment that I'm so drawn to, and I'm really keen to make this super feminine, flowy, summery dress out of some black floral fabric. I just think it's going to be such a classic in my wardrobe that will be something I'll want to wear for many, many years to come. So yeah, yesterday I cut out all of the template pieces and now I need to cut them out in my fabric. Hopefully I have enough fabric here. Because it was so expensive, I only bought 3.5 meters and I think the pattern says to have about 4.5. So I might have to cut some corners here and there to be able to squeeze all the pattern pieces out of this fabric. But yeah, let's lay all the pattern pieces out onto this fabric and see if we can manage it. Because I want to make sure there is as little waste as possible, I have decided I'm not going to cut the neckline facings on the fold and will instead cut them so that there is a centimetre extra to be able to stitch them together with this 1 centimetre seam allowance, and then they will basically be the same as if they were cut out on the fold, which means I think we will definitely be able to get this dress cut out of 3.5 meters of fabric, which is actually such a relief. Also, apologies for the echo in this space. I am cutting this out on my cutting table, which is in my work in progress sewing space at the moment. So there's literally nothing in here except for some rubbish and this cutting table, but hopefully you don't mind. somehow managed to cut out all the pieces, pretty much, out of the fabric I had. I am so surprised. I was really worried I wasn't gonna get the skirt cut out, but I ended up having to shorten it quite significantly, which I think is going to be fine because I'm quite a bit shorter than the height the pattern has been designed for, so it should all even out. I would have probably had to hem it quite a bit anyway. Before getting started on the actual sewing up of this dress, I decided to have a quick read of the pattern instructions, which I always like to do as it just helps me to have a bit more of a better understanding of how the dress is constructed. If you're wanting to get into sewing with patterns but find following sewing patterns a little bit overwhelming and intimidating, then I'm really excited to tell you all about a class that I found on Skillshare, who is the sponsor of this video. The class is called Sew Your Own Clothes, Use Sewing Patterns Like a Pro by Robin Burgess, and it goes through everything you need to know to be able to sew with a sewing pattern successfully. It goes through how to pick the size that's right for you, choosing which fabric is best for the garment you're making, how to cut out the template pieces correctly, as well as some of the technical parts of sewing with a pattern, like how to sew stay stitching and mark out notches. Once you have an understanding of these basics of using a sewing pattern, you can then even start to get a bit more experimental and start pattern hacking to be able to create garments that are completely unique to you. But not only does Skillshare have classes on sewing, Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes covering so many other different topics such as design, photography, illustration, productivity, creative writing. Basically, if there's a new skill that you would like to learn, then you can find a class to help you on Skillshare. What I really love about Skillshare is that each class is broken down into bite-sized lessons and are able to be taken at your own pace, so that way you're able to learn your new skill whenever you have a pocket of time available to you. So if you'd like to try out Skillshare for yourself, then the first 500 people to use my link in the description of this video will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can get started today. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I just had a read of the instructions and I'm so looking forward to putting this dress together. I feel like it's going to be quite a straightforward make, nothing too complicated, which I'm really keen for today. I just want to have a really relaxed, kind of semi-easy project to work on. So like I said, I have cut out all the pieces, and now before I actually get sewing, I'm going to just mark out all the notches with my little tailor's chalk pencil. And then once I've marked out the notches, it's time to start working on the elastic channels that go along the bust to create kind of the elasticated fitted look of the dress. So first things first, I need to mark out the positioning of where the channels are going to be sewn in for the elastic. So here on the pattern piece, the channel positions are marked out. So I now need to copy those lines onto the wrong side of my fabric. And then along those lines, I'm going to stitch some bias binding to be able to create some elastic channels. So yeah, that is where I'm going to start. Okay, the channels have been stitched in place, and I have to say, I'm not used to working with black fabric. It is so hard to see. Luckily managed to stitch right along that line, but it was not easy to see, and a lot of the times I wasn't able to stitch it properly, so I had to go back and re-stitch it. Yeah, it's just so interesting. I'm not used to not being able to see everything really clearly, and I guess that is one of the downsides to using black material. So now I have to stitch some little buttonhole openings at the center front. So this is the back. This is the center front. I'm first of all going to mark where they need to be positioned, and then I'll stitch those. Definitely not the neatest buttonholes I have ever done in my life. I'm actually pretty disappointed with how they turned out. I haven't done manual buttonholes for a while, so I'm just a bit out of practice. But luckily, one of the benefits of dark fabric is it's very forgiving. You will not be able to see these buttonholes once the dress is done, so it's no big deal. So now that that is done, it's time to attach the sleeves. This is all coming together quite quickly, which I'm excited about. Then we have to make the facing. I'm really excited we're working on the bodice first because I cannot wait to see it all come together. This is what the bodice is looking like at the moment. This is the front, and look how big it is. I'm so excited by that because that means it's going to have a lot of gathering and a lot of ruffles, and it's going to look beautiful. So yeah, the sleeves are attached, and I've done the same to the bodice back, and now I need to attach the two along the shoulder seams. So now that the sleeves are attached, it's time to actually make the facing for the neckline. And before I do that, I need to make sure I remember to stitch the two pieces of the facings together because I haven't cut them out on the fold. So now if I stitch them together, they will be pretty much the same as if they were cut on the fold. I'll do that. And then they just need to be stitched together, ironed, and then overlocked along the outside edge, and then attached to the bodice. Now that that's done, look how neat it's looking on the inside. I need to make a channel along this neckline edge now, and I need to make it so it's like fits these buttonholes perfectly. So like I'll stitch just below the buttonholes and just above to create a channel all the way along the neckline to be able to thread a tie through these buttonholes, which will then gather up the neckline to create that perfectly beautiful ruffled edge. And yeah, I'm just so enjoying this make. It is such an enjoyable pattern. I can already tell I'm going to be making another one. I am loving it. My camera batteries are all flat, even though I've been charging them all day. They just aren't charging for some reason, and the battery in the camera is about to go flat as well. So I'm actually going to stop filming for a bit while I make this neckline channel, and then hopefully by the time I finish that, the batteries will be charged so I can keep filming. Okay, now that the channel is done, I need to start working on the skirt, starting by attaching the pockets, which I have pre-overlocked, and then I can stitch the skirt to the bodice, and then we can start playing around with some elastic and start putting the elastic into the channels to gather up the bodice. Okay, so the skirt is attached. It's looking so cool. Like, I just love how it is basically just this massive piece of fabric, and soon it's going to be gathered in and it's going to look lovely. I'm so excited for this step. So now that the skirt's attached, I need to measure out my elastic. So the pattern suggests just using some ultra thin elastic. And first, I need to measure under my bust where my bra is sitting. It's meant to be like snug, but not too tight. I think that is good. So then I need to add on 2.5 centimeters, so about 1 inch, and then cut that piece in half. Where are my scissors? I always am bad at, when it comes to elastic, making it too loose, so I always tend to go more on the tighter end, because I have made a dress before and it just was too loose, and I almost think that's worse because then it kind of falls off you. Now I need to measure around the center of my ribs. Again, add about 1 inch. Right, so that's the under the bust pieces. This is the rib pieces. Oh, maybe that's the bottom of my ribs. Okay, that's the bottom of my ribs. That's under the bust. Center of the ribs, I'm assuming. Mid-channel, first channel. And this one's for the bottom channel, which I think means like around here. Add 2.5 and then cut in half. Now for the exciting part, time to thread these pieces of elastic into the channels and finally start gathering this dress up. Because the channels made with the bias binding are so thin, I'm going to use this loop turner to kind of thread into the casings and then pull the elastic through. I just don't think I'm going to be able to fit a safety pin in those channels. So yeah, let's see if this works. It worked! Okay, that worked. So now I just need to stitch the two ends of the elastic in place at the ends of the channel and then repeat that for all 6 channels. One side is done. Oh my goodness. It's looking so pretty. Ah, time to do the other side. I think I might have been a little bit overambitious trying to finish this entire dress in one day. I've just had to read through the instructions and there's still quite a lot to do. I am so in love with how this gathering looks with this fabric, and the fabric is just the perfect weight, so like the gathering just looks perfect. Now I need to make a tie for this neckline channel, and I'm going to use the leftover fabric I have so it matches the dress. So yeah, I think I might do that and then leave it there because I still have to like make the sleeves and then sew the actual sides of the dress together. There's still quite a bit to do and I'm definitely running out of steam, but I do just want to get this tie done and see if I can thread it into this channel, because that is just going to be so stunning and I can't wait to see it. Okay, day 2 of working on this dreamy dress. Yesterday afternoon I finished making the tie and now I have the fun job of putting the tie into the neckline channel to be able to gather up the neckline. I'm pretty sure the length of the dress so far is looking pretty good, even though I shortened the skirt template piece a bit. So yeah, let's thread this tie into the neckline so we can finally gather it up. Okay, it is looking so cute. I cannot get over how pretty this dress is. Oh, I'm in love. The neckline is so pretty. It's almost like a square neckline, which I really like. I am completely in love. Completely in love. It is such a beautiful dress, but so comfortable to wear. And the length, I don't think you can see it, but it is perfect. I'm actually glad that I shortened the skirt template piece a little bit because it would have been way too long on me. So now I need to finish off the sleeves. They're going to be some cute little puffy sleeves, which I think is just going to finish off this dress perfectly. And once the sleeves are done, all I'll need to do is hem the dress and then it's going to be finished. I could not be happier with how this dress has turned out so far. sleeves are done. They are so adorable. They feel super comfortable as well. And now all I need to do is hem the bottom edge of the dress. The pattern actually uses like a facing method to hem the dress, which I'm really intrigued by. It sounds like a really interesting way to go about hemming a dress, but I do not have enough fabric for that. So I am just going to hem it normally, and I'm also going to overlock it first and then hem it up by about 1 centimeter or less if I can manage it, because I don't want to lose any more length in the skirt. I'm super happy with the length as it is, so the less amount of hemming I can do, the better. But then I'll try it on and see how the finished dress looks. And the dress is complete. This dress honestly was so easy to make in comparison to the impact the dress has. Like, it looks super intricate and fancy, but the actual construction of the dress was so straightforward and simple. I am completely in love. I will put some shots in now of me wearing it so you can get a good proper look at it. So I hope you enjoyed following along as I make this dreamy dress. I cannot begin to explain to you just how much I love this dress. I have been wanting to add a dress like this one to my wardrobe for the longest time. I love this dress so much that I've already cut out another version out of some crinkle burnt orange fabric that I'm so excited to sew up. I only have a couple of days left before we leave to go to Austin, but hopefully I can get it done in time so I can take it with me, because yeah, this style of dress is just going to be my go-to outfit for while I'm in the hot Austin summer. So yeah, if I can get another one made in time, I will be so happy with that. If you did enjoy this video, then it would really mean a lot to me if you could give this video a like, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more sewing type videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end, and I'll see you in the next one.